So you didn't go to college for musical theater. You don't have a BFA, you don't have a BA, you don't have a BM, you don't have a boat. That's okay. I don't want you to compare yourself to anybody else just because you don't have a degree in musical theater. So let's talk about what training you need in musical theater if you did not go to college, and how best you can prepare for a career in this industry as a professional. What we need to do is start out with asking yourself, what type of work do you want to be doing in this industry? Because that's where it's going to lead us into training, right? I could tell you right now a slew of places you should train in New York City with people. You know, I train with people, but I could just tell you what to do, and that would not work. It would not work, because what you need for training is very different than someone else. So we need to unpack this in a very specific and focused way. Cool? Cool. What type of work do you want to be doing in the industry right now? What type of work do you want to be doing? Because if you're someone that's sitting there thinking, I don't want to do musicals like, 42nd Street, I don't want to do big dance musicals, then your priority probably is not going to be to take dance classes. None of us have unlimited funds. So we need to be very focused and specific in what type of training that you need to do. And I have some very unconventional ideas coming up, so stick around, but let's start here. If you want to do musicals, start writing down a list, okay? Then look at that list and say, what do these musicals have in common? Wow, a lot of them are big power belter, they're pop, they're rock styles, not a lot of dance, but a lot of singing, a lot of acting. Great, then that's where you need to start. I would say start taking, if you can, a voice lesson with someone that you trust. Maybe even it's just once or twice. Take a class if you can. Take an acting class if you can. Start there. If you can get into a musical theater performance class, start there. But honestly, start with auditioning. You can go to auditions, and that can be training because auditions are free. Working on self-tapes, submitting self-tapes, that is free training. Sometimes that is just as good as you taking a class. It doesn't have to be training that is conventional. That's what I mean. So take a look at your list and see what you really need to focus on right now, because you can't do everything all the time. I mean, unless you have discretional income. And if you do, then let's not call me, text me. Actually, no, you don't have any of that information because it's private. I'm a very private person in that way. DM me and I can give you all the classes. But look at the roles and say, what is a big priority for me right now? If they're big dance roles and they are ensemble, then I would say start taking some dance classes. Get in there. That's what you are technically getting in college. But in college, you're getting a full schedule of classes. Singing, dancing, acting, maybe some musicianship, audition prepping coaching, repertoire coaching. When you're doing it on your own, you really need to narrow down and focus that into what is going to be the most beneficial for you right now. That is what I would say to start with. What type of classes should I be taking? Now, the next question I get quite a lot is, how much should I be training? Even when people get out of college, most of the time, they're not able to train every single day, unless they have a lot of money from whatever side jobs they're doing, or support jobs, as I like to call them, or they booked a big show and they're on tour, or they're on Broadway, or they're on a long-term regional theater contract and they've got that extra money. What is your budget? And how can you offset that with training that costs money and training that doesn't cost money? And here's what I mean. What is the priority for you? Is it a voice lesson? Is it a class? What can you take that maybe is going to cost you money? And then how can you offset that financially to also say, great, I am going to sing every day for 10 minutes and I'm going to work on a new song every day, just 10 minutes. I'm going to hit a timer, and after 10 minutes, I'm going to stop to get in the habit of it. There's no right or wrong way to do this. There's no, I must be singing 5 days a week to be ready for an 8-show week. It is, what do you need that is going to be hyper-focused for the roles that you want to work on? You have to start there because you can't do everything, okay? In a perfect world, if that's your question in your brain right now, and you're like, just give me something factual. In a perfect world, I would say 5 days a week, spend 10 minutes a day singing, whether that's a vocal warm-up, working on a song, whatever it may be. Spend 10 minutes a day singing. Work out 3 times a week, whether that's a dance class, you are on a long walk, you are doing a Zumba class, something that is moving your body so you stay connected to it and you stay in a healthy state. So when you go to a dance audition, you feel good. And how can you focus in on your acting? Can you take one scene a week and work on a new scene? Basic. You can do a lot of that on your own. There's no regimen of you must be doing this 5 days a week, because we're all different humans. And the other side of this is really acting, which I think gets pushed to the wayside. You can do and work on your acting with auditioning. Self-tapes is the name of our game now, right? So allow the audition process, the actual act and process of doing the thing, be a big foundation of your training. With all of the submissions we're doing now, you can make a new self-tape like every week. Whether you're called back or requested for a tape or requested for a preliminary audition or not, that could be something that you do every single week. That's a lot of how I balance out my training right now, because when I'm filming this, we're in the dead of audition season, which is why I'm a little tired right now. Act of actually auditioning, prepping for the callbacks, prepping for if I'm going in person, prepping for the tapes, doing the thing. I usually do a little bit of that every single day because I don't like to shove it all together in one day. I like to spread it out. That's practicing right there. So overall, when people ask me, how much should I be training? My suggestion is to focus on, one, the priority of the types of roles you really want to do. Start there. And second priority, auditioning. If you get stuck in an audition and they're like, come in and sing a pop rock song or send us a tape, and you don't have a pop rock song ready, then that's your next thing to practice in the act of doing. One of the biggest misconceptions people have with our industry is that you have to have this big technical background of training like college or a degree before you're ready. Not so at all. I know people that work constantly that don't have a degree, that have really never been in an actual musical theater performance class, and they really learn most of their training and their technique from actually doing the thing, from actually performing. So get into a community theater, get into a local regional theater, do ensemble work, let the training be on the job. That can happen too. It really depends on where you are in your career, what type of financial situation you're in, what budget you have, and then just doing the thing of auditioning. That is the biggest part of our job that people just wait. Please hear me when I say this. Do not wait until you feel like you've had enough training, that you practice enough, that you are good enough and ready enough to actually audition and do the thing. Please, 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 please. As we get older and as full-on professional adults in this industry, it's really hard to find classes that are going to be beneficial, that are affordable as adults. It really truly is. That's something that I've been struggling with, since I hit my 30s, that I look around and I'm like, I just want a class where I can get in front of people without the pressure of the audition. And that's really hard to find. Even in New York City, it's really hard to find. So you have to make your own training, and you have to find your own spaces that help you move forward with where you are right now in your career. But really, don't wait. Training can be the act of doing, and training can be you starting out saying, I really need this right now for me to feel comfortable and confident to show up at the audition, which is the whole point. Don't get stuck in that in between, okay? Start doing the thing. Audition, submit, and navigate it from that side, and the training will come as you figure out where the holes and the gaps are, and as you meet people and as you network along the way. And if you need support, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be here to help you as much as I possibly can. All right, go audition. Don't compare yourself to anybody else just because you don't have a degree in this industry. All right, cheers.